If you are just learning about weight-based dosing calculations and they seem confusing to you, you can't quite master it, this video is for you. In this video, we will cover the basics of weight-based dosing calculations, so it is beginner friendly. By the end of the video, you should feel like you have a good understanding and able to confidently solve milligram per kilogram calculations. I will be solving 3 different problems, so stay till the end. What is weight-based dosing calculations? It is those calculations where you see the dose is expressed as milligram per kilogram and the patient's weight is either given in pounds or kilogram, and you have to calculate the dose in milligram. Let's look at this first problem. So you have an order, it is 20 milligram per kilogram IV Q8H, and the patient's weight is 15 kilogram. Now, the question is calculate milligram per dose, calculate milligram per day. Okay, so when you have a problem like this, in order to calculate milligram, the way to do this is you're going to multiply the milligram per kilogram by the weight in kilogram. So here we have 20 milligram per kilogram multiplied by 15 kilogram. If you look, you'll see that the kilogram cancel out. So you have 20 times 15, that's 300 milligrams. Now, this 300 milligram is per dose. Why? Because if we look at the order, it's 20 milligram per kilogram, and then that dose is every 8 hours. So that 300 milligram is per dose. Now, to calculate milligram per day, every 8 hours means 3 doses per day. So that means you're going to multiply the dose, the milligram per dose, by 3. So 300 times 3, and that gives you 900 milligram per day. Let's look at a second problem. So you have 20 milligram per kilogram IV every 8 hours. The weight here is 44 pounds. So same 2 questions, calculate milligram per dose and calculate milligram per day. In the previous problem, so the difference here is that in the previous problem, the weight was given in kilogram. Here, the weight is given in pounds. If the weight is given in pounds, you have one more step that you have to do. So the first step is to convert the weight from pounds to kilogram. That's the very first step. So how do you do that? You have to know the conversion factor. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So to convert from pounds to kilogram, you're going to divide by 2.2. So 44 divided by 2.2, that's 20 kilogram. Now that you have that, then you can calculate milligram per dose. And remember, to calculate milligram per dose, you're going to take the milligram per kilogram that is given, and you're going to multiply that by the weight in kilogram. So here we have 20 milligram per kilogram multiplied by 20 kilogram, that's the weight in kilogram. So we have 20 times 20, and that's 400 milligram per dose. This is per dose, again, because we have 20 milligram per kilogram every 8 hours. So each dose is 20 milligram per kilogram. Now, to calculate milligram per day, every 8 hours means 3 doses per day. So we have 400 multiplied by 3, that's 1200 milligram per day. Let's look at the last problem. This one is a little bit different. So here we have 30 milligram per kilogram per day, PO divided every 12 hours. Patient weighs 33 pounds. Calculate milligram per day, calculate milligram per dose. So if we're looking at this problem, how is it different from the previous 2 problems? Well, the number one thing is Here, the milligram per kilogram is given per day. In the previous two problems, we were given milligram per kilogram per dose. Pay close attention to that. If you're given milligram per kilogram, for example, let's say if you're given milligram per kilogram twice a day or every 12 hours, that means the milligram per kilogram is per dose. But if it says milligram per kilogram per day and then divided in 3 doses or divided every 12 hours, that milligram per kilogram, like it says, it's per day. So when you calculate the dose in milligram, it's going to be milligram per day. Okay, now the weight is given in pounds. So the first step again here is to convert that weight from pounds to kilogram. And how do we do that? We're going to divide by 2.2, so that weight is 15 kilogram. Now, the next step is to calculate milligram per day. And remember, for that step, you're going to multiply milligram per kilogram by the weight in kilogram. So here we have 30 milligram per kilogram times 15 kilogram, and that's going to be 450 milligrams. So in this case here, the 450 milligram is the daily dose, is per day. Now to calculate milligram per dose, because we know that the daily dose is divided every 12 hours, that means it's 2 doses per day. Now to calculate the milligram per dose, you're going to divide the daily dose by 2. And that's 450 divided by 2, and that's 225 milligram per dose. So see how this is different from the previous two? The previous two, we calculated the milligram per dose first because of how it was given, and then we multiply to calculate milligram per day. Here, because the milligram per kilogram per day is given, once you find milligram, it's per day. Then to calculate milligram per dose, you look to see how many doses are taken in a day. In this case is 2, so you divide by 2 and you find your dose, milligram per dose, which is 225 milligrams. If you want a copy of my free calculation guide, check it out. Link is in the description. I also have workbooks available. All of the links are in the descriptions. And also, by popular demand, I am working on a full medication calculation course, and this course will be comprehensive and include any type of calculation you can think of, and I will be talking more about that a little bit later. So stay tuned. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.